Welcome to the fourth installment of Practicing Bass Arpeggios. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, I've had a little bit too much coffee already today. So, we're going to keep the ball rolling with all of this, with diminished arpeggios, since we just finished up major, minor, and augmented arpeggios. Now, we figured out with augmented arpeggios that they aren't exactly the best shape to look at on the bass. They don't really have the same sort of visualization courtesy that major and minor arpeggios have. So we're going to run into the same sort of problem here with diminished arpeggios. Fortunately, there's a few tricks that you can kind of see. There's a lot of tritones, so if you know your way around the tritone shape, that's good for diminished arpeggios. Normally it's actually easier to see the full diminished seventh, not just the triad, because it gets this really nice cascading kind of effect, this minor third sort of shape that goes up and down. We're not really going to look at that until a little bit later, but we're just going to take a look at the basic triad. Anyway, so to start us off, we have just a regular C diminished triad: C, E flat, G flat, C, G flat, E flat, C, and that's the way that I like to finger it. 1-octave, 3 strings. Now, the way you could do this fingering is 1 4 2 4 2 4 1 instead of 1 4 1 2 1 4 1. Now, proponents of 1 finger per fret would say, "Oh no, you should do it this way: 1 4 2 3 2 4 1." In fact, even pivoting up and down the strings would be bad. So you just keep everything completely straight. Now, okay, that might work up here. But down here, it's really important to keep everything fluid. Remember, when we're practicing all of this stuff, we're actually trying to keep the this sort of whole apparatus very fluid and in motion. The bass is really not designed to be an instrument where you're just stuck rigidly here. And the entire point of practicing these arpeggios is to really practice being able to move up and down the fretboard fluidly, be able to visualize everything, and get the physical aspect really in gear. Anyway, so the next 1-octave 3 string shape I'll show you is this. We have C starting on 4, E flat, G flat. You can play it with 2 and then go up to 4 for the C, or you could play it with 1 and then go up to 2 for the C. Cool. So what about two string shapes for 1 octave? And this is the one that I generally like to use the most. It involves the most efficient sort of position shifts. We have 1 C, 4 E flat, shift up to 2 for G flat, C, G flat, E flat, C. Now another shape we could use is this: C, E flat, G flat here, and then shift up, grab the C there, shift back down, G flat, E flat, C. It's a little trickier because you just jump up for that one note. Now, the next one isn't that great of a shape. I'll just mention it for the sake of practice. We have C, E flat, and then you could probably grab the G flat there, and then this is where it gets kind of tricky. You're going to have to kind of jump up to the C with your 1 or with your pinky. And remember, this isn't ideal because you generally don't want to leave a position and arrive in the next position with the same finger you left, especially not the pinky. It's a little awkward and doesn't really flow very nicely. Cool. So the next thing that we're going to look at is just the 1-octave 1 string shape. Same bag as the other ones, same sort of physical approach. C, E flat, G flat, except just now you have a much larger leap here to the diminished fifth. C, G flat, E flat, C. Cool. Now let's take a look at the 3-string 2-octave shapes. Remember, we're not doing the 4-string shapes because they're a little bit easier, and we're just trying to make it hard on ourselves because apparently we're masochistic. Cool. So we have the first shape, which is going to be built on the first 1-octave 2-string shape that I showed you, which is this: C, E flat, shift, G flat, C, shift, E flat, G, notice I was using the third finger a lot. And that's something that I haven't really been advocating so much so far, just because there hasn't been really that much need to. However, the third finger, whenever there's a pattern with a tritone in it, this nifty little thing, it's usually the best finger to use. I mean, there's no real rationalization around it. I am a big proponent of using just 1, 2, and 4, as you've probably noticed, especially with our arpeggios. But in the diminished arpeggio specifically, the third finger starts becoming really useful, especially in the upper register. So another shape we could use is this: C, E flat, G, shift. Yeah, let's shift to the pinky. Shift here, E flat, G, and then we're gonna have to do this stupid sort of leap up to C here. And that one's just good for getting you in the habit of just jumping and being able to get to the place where you need to be. Yeah. Not very clean, very bad, but you know, you get the picture. Cool. Now a couple other ones that you could use maybe is this one. This one again, just whenever you start a diminished arpeggio with your pinky, it's not going to be the most effective way to get up the neck, but good to practice anyway. So C, E flat, G flat, C, E flat, G flat, C. Not very clean. Alright, so hopefully you've enjoyed what little information I gave you there. Now, remember with all of these arpeggios, it's mainly a means to an end. It's pretty much the fact that you're by playing this stuff, I mean, obviously this isn't music, this is just sort of being able to really acclimate you to moving around the fretboard in a way that's not really forcing you just to think of a major arpeggio as that. Because a major arpeggio is a lot more than that. Same thing with the diminished arpeggio, augmented arpeggio, minor arpeggio, whatever kind of weird arpeggio you think. It actually encompasses the entire fretboard, and the better you are at moving up and down the fretboard, and better you are at seeing position shifts, the nuances with the fingering and all of that, the more prepared you are for playing and performing at a much higher level than you were before. So coming up, hopefully, are going to be a few series of lessons on seventh, like some of the nuances with seventh chords and performing seventh arpeggios. They're actually a lot easier if you think about it, because you don't have nearly as many position shifts. You're staying in the same position for longer. You have your hand and everything has a better time to acclimate themselves and sort of figure out where they are. So if you get really good at practicing the basic triads, the seventh chords come a lot easier and a lot quicker. So stay tuned.